All right, we're about to get this thing started, as you know, because you see the timer counting down. You know what time it is. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Here we go, damn it. Here we go. Good damn morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. It is, what's today? I don't even know. It's Tuesday. And normally Twitter Tuesday, the app formerly known as Twitter Tuesday. Turn that music down, Johnny. Come on, get with it. All right, here we go. And I have so much on my plate and so many things that are just blowing my mind, and I want to scream at shit. You know what I mean? I'm going to get through all of it today. I don't care how late I am, because I have a lot of stuff that's just everywhere. Gunfox, yours got me too, and I have more than one article on what you gave me. Everything is just insane. And I don't like to be, I don't want to be one of those screaming shock jocks, mad at the world people. But damn it, can we have some sanity in our world right now? Damn it. So anyway, look, share the damn stream. Get some people in here. I want to see 50 people here. In fact, I'm going to tweet that right now. Let me see. Can I get 50 people watching this stuff today? I need here. If you see this, let's see. If you see this, click one of the links. I need 100 people to watch, what the hell, the show today. I don't know why, because let's challenge everyone who's going to do this right now. In fact, do this right now before I even cut to the other stuff. Wherever you share this stream, and you may have already shared it, I don't know. If you have, fan-fucking-tastic. But I want you to share it again with the words, we need 100 people watching this stream. I need it right now. Oh, Pete, nice, rumballs. I love it. I'm looking at Pirate Pete's tweet here. Anyway, you hear me? 100 people. Go bug your friends. Go bug anyone else. Say we need 100 people watching this stream. Maybe 200. I don't care. Put it everywhere. I just need people here because I'm about to go nuts. So, wait, you gotta say I've been saying, yes, you have. Yes, Gunfox, you have. Okay? All right, that's it. Johnny, play the intro. What the hell?
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Knight.
And I need every ounce of coffee that I'm going to drink today. This is insane. Johnny, hey, can we put me on the screen, damn it? Stop the music. You already did. Thank you, Johnny. Nice job. Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Knight on the internet. Welcome back to the P-Dog Knight channel. Merry fucking Christmas and all that good stuff, too, even though it's not Christmas yet. Did I just say that out loud? Oh, my God. I can't believe I said that. Anyway, hi. I'm glad you're here. It is Tuesday, the 19th of December. 2023. Christmas is just a few days away, and I'm prepared, I think, for all that stuff. You see, you got the tree back there. There's some presents under there. I got the fire going. I know it's not really my house, but anyway, it looks nice. Anyway, I am so happy that you're here. but I need more people here today. I don't care how you do it. Go keep tweeting and say, hey, come watch the show. We need 100 people here, and I'll be happy. On YouTube or Rumble. This is the combination of the two would make me happy. Of course, Rumble, I got 5 on Rumble. I got right now, what do I got? 11 on YouTube. Where is everybody? Damn it. All right. Oh, Necrosol, how you doing, my friend? Oh, you got to get back to work? Well, I'm glad to see your name in the chat. I haven't seen it for a while. Welcome. And I hope, maybe you watch a show on the replay or something. Anyway, I have a lot going on today as far as just the things that are in my links today. I have links to all kinds of stuff, and some of it is stuff like, for example, the 2 articles Gunfox gave me yesterday are great articles, and they're going to get me going, and I have more information on those too. I have kind of complimentary articles to them, and then I've got, but this thing, if you see the picture there, over in Eagle Pass, Texas. Holy shit. They're having another huge surge of just people just streaming across the border. It's been like this for months. We had a 15,000 person day not too long ago. Now there's a giant contingent of Venezuelans. Then it was Haitians. We got people from all over the world just streaming across the border because there's a tourism industry in Mexico, apparently, that brings them from all over the world. You fly to Mexico, you walk across our border. But it's also happening on the Canadian border. What the actual F is this administration doing? Now, they did try something. I'll talk about it eventually during this show. They tried something, and now they got a certain industry a little upset with them. And because it is. So anyway, I've got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about today. A whole bunch. We're going to do that. But first, like normal, I am going to say hello. By the way, our superstar sponsor today of yesterday, Gunfox61, had 2 articles that we did not get to because he specifically said we'd save them for tomorrow. So those will be the first actual articles I get to. Well, not the first articles, but they'll be early in the lineup because my trending topics have some of the articles kind of interspersed in them. So we're going to do that. But first, let's say hi to everybody, okay? I'm going to calm down. I'm going to calm down until I start going through this stuff. It's going to be crazy. Oh, goodness gracious. I do have my cup of reparations, though. It's in the Papa Bear cup that I got from Breckenridge, Colorado. I just happened to be wearing my Breckenridge, Colorado sweatshirt from when we went out there not long after my... Oh, no, that was before my son and my daughter-in-law moved out to Colorado. But we had a great time. In fact, when we went to Breckenridge, was it the COVID year or was it the year after? I can't remember. But... we went out there, and that was when you still had to wear masks outdoors during COVID. I think it was the year after. I don't remember. Anyway, but we had a great time. Now, I couldn't ski because my hip, and my wife doesn't ski. And so my son and daughter-in-law and her sister and whatever were out there, and they were skiing. We just hung out in the town of Breckenridge. Breckenridge is a really, really, really cool town. Even if you're not there to ski, it's just that there's a lot of great shops. There's fantastic restaurants, some interesting history there. There's cool things. They have this thing where you got to go find the troll. They have this giant wooden troll that they move around and put in different spots, and every once in a while you got to find them. There's a great distillery there. There's a great brewery there. There's a couple wineries that sell their products out of there. It's a great town. I loved it. So. Anyway, P-Dog, it was the year after. Was it in 2021 that we went to? Yeah, I think it was. I think it was when we went. That was when we went to breakfast. We had a great time. Lady Boomer and I just, traipsing around the town, doing different things, and then we would meet up with the kids, so to speak, for meals here and there. But it was just a great vacation. It was really enjoyable. Anyway, so let's see. Let's say hi to everybody in the chat, and we'll get this thing started. First, the chat over on Rumble. Mr. Avocados Dudley gets the bell. And right behind, but very close, but a close second, is Mr. Jimmy Das Hotep. And our good friend Gunfox61, the ever faithful and awesome administrator of the P-Dog Night Discord server. Excuse me, I have to burp. Sorry, I didn't turn down, I turned down the wrong one. You heard it, didn't you? Well, I didn't hear it on the microphone anyway. And so, but like, great to have people over there. And, but there's only 5 people, and that means I'm one of them. There's not many people watching Rumble, but that's okay. Wherever you watch, it doesn't matter. Well, it does if you. Well, I'm gonna have to do like split streams where I stop the YouTube stream so I can talk about more sensitive stuff, because I know they're gonna pull that shit again. Come around election time where you can't say bad things about this part of the election, or you can't say bad things about certain candidates and yada yada, because the idea that they would rig it's not so much they rig the election, like the voting and shit like that. That's not what they do. They do bullshit like like during in 2020, all the news media basically embargoed any bad information about Joe Biden. So notice like in 2020, not one news media outlet brought up the fact that Joe Biden dropped out of the race in 1988 because of the plagiarism scandals that he had and the lying about his college record and all that stuff. No one brought any of that up. Wasn't that weird how, that's what caused him to drop out of a presidential race? But it didn't get brought up during the entire 2020 cycle, and almost not even on Fox News. You notice that? I mean, no one was bringing it up. You think that would be plastered everywhere? Joe Biden's penchant for just making up bullshit stories, right? Didn't happen. How is that not happened? The Hunter Biden laptop story. Oh, yeah, the 50 intelligence officials said this is certainly a Russian disinformation campaign, which was fucking straight up bullshit, right? Just the whole thing. It's annoying. Anyway, okay, we got 24 people. I'm looking for 100. Figure it out. Okay, let's say hi on YouTube. First on the chat. Avocado Stably gets the bell. Thank you, sir. Also, good morning, Zed the Snarky. Welcome. Good morning, Tyre Alexander, the gentleman. Also, good morning, Gunfox61, Simon Wolfwood, Tyler F, Grillin' Pirate Pete. Hey, by the way, Pete put up some nice looking rum balls. In fact, I'm looking here. I'm looking at his tweet of it. It says, rum ball making time in the Cove, big plates for Christmas, smaller plates for parties and gifts and to family, friends, and neighbors. And okay, so here we got the ingredients out here. Oops, let me put it. I'm going to make this even bigger. I'm going to make this, not like that. There we go. See, he's got the ingredients, starting to make some rum balls. Got a little Captain Morgan, because, Grilling Pirate Pete's got to have the pirate on there. And then they got making rum balls. I love me some rum balls. Those are good. Those look awesome, Pete. So anyway, and he's packing them up for the family. Awesome. Nicely done. So anyway, Pete likes to drop some food pictures on Twitter for me, and it just makes my mouth water and shit. So anyway, good morning, everybody. Yesterday was rum ball making. Oh, that says right there at the Cove. Now in my fridge filled with gift plates, rum balls, parties, and gifts and family. Nice. Anyway, also good morning, James Stoner. Nice to see you. Who else is here? Revon Harris. What's up? Jethro Hetero's in the house. Aaron Meredith. Necrosol Collins. Welcome back, man. I know you got to work and stuff. But it's good to see you in person again. Good morning also to my friend Scribe Light Dog Thrapple. And JB's in the house, and Justine Ellison. I hope I'm saying that right. I hate it when I see names that I can kind of sound them out. It's close though. It's close. It's gotta be close. Also, Cannibalistic Wizards in the house. Tex AG below set. Evan is here. Good morning, Lord Stanhope. Woodcutter is in the house. All right, welcome everybody. And little just notes about the show. You are the morning light. I'm Joe Bidening.
Man.
Yeah. The Morning Night Live is brought to you by you, the viewers of the Morning Night Live. Please share the stream, hit the like button, and you can sponsor the show at Streamlabs at pdognight.live/tips, or just I'll be able to pin this thing to the top of the YouTube chat, and I'll drop the link in the Rumble spot. That's the best place. Of course, YouTube Super Chats and Rumble Rants are also just fine. It's just that administratively, Streamlabs is a lot easier for me, and you don't have to spend as much money to talk about as much as you want, okay? So you get the same number of characters no matter how much you do, from $2 to $10,000, okay? Not that anyone's ever going to give me $10,000, but that's because that's silly. Anyway, I am in a house. LOL, feels good. Okay, good. So the what was I was gonna skip into something else for a second, and now I can't remember because I'm having brain fog. I do have some more notifications here that I just noticed. Oh, thank yous. That's what I was gonna do. I was gonna thank people for putting the show out on the interwebs. Thank you, Jimmy Das Hotep, Somnambul Nation, tweeting out the show. Oh, let me just retweet you guys here too. I'm gonna hit like and I'm gonna retweet that because that's what we do here. If you interact with people's stuff, it gets sent out to more. You know what I mean? More people get to see it. What happens with algorithms? They send it to about maybe a small 20% of your followers, right? They'll send anything you put out. They'll send it to 20% of your followers. Then they also maybe send it to like an equal amount of non-followers, and then if the more people react to it, the more stuff they send out. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it works. So. Thank you to those two. And then also people who retweeted the show would be Necrosol Collins, who did also tweet the show out. Tyre Alexander, thank you very much. Zed, thank you. Gunfox61, a.k.a. Mac Wolf on Twitter. Grillin' Pirate Pete, Scribed Light, Tyler F., and Somnambul Nation all retweeted my tweet. And thanks you, Necrosol Collins, for dropping that one. Give it $100 watcher thing. So, and also, Reaction Puerto Rico's in the house and also retweeted the show. Also, good morning, Lord Stanhope. Nice to have you all here. All right. Oh, and thank you, Zed the Starkey. Just a 556 big bullet in the tip jar from the Streamlabs side. That makes you
are
the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you very much, Zed the Starkey. Well, so there we go. We got our first Streamlabs sponsor of the day. If you want to be on the Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day, you just have to be the top donor of the day and on Streamlabs. Oh, my goodness. Thank you, JB. We're getting some Canadian, $20 Canadian. How much is that in American money? I don't even know. There was a point in time where $20 in Canadian was like $7 American, but I think they're almost 1-to-1 now. So that's a good thing for Canadians. Anyway, thank you very much. I appreciate it, JB. Thank you for sponsoring the show. So I eat social media for breakfast. LOL. Okay. I don't know what that means. Oh, I don't have social media outside of here, but I would if I did. Oh, I see what you're saying. I see. And P-Don can buy that newspaper he's been saving up for. Where's this coming from? I'm not sure. Thank you, James Stoner, for tweeting out the show. You're awesome. Thank you. I appreciate all of you who do that. All right. Let's get into some stuff here. Wait, what? $14.99? Oh, okay, it's worth $14.99. Well, that's good. I'm happy if it was $1. So I'm cool. Thank you for sponsoring the show. That's a great thing. All right, let's get into some news, things that are happening in the world. This is kind of the Twitter time section here. And one of the things trending on Twitter right now, and this is wild, and it'll probably be trending pretty high all day because what's happening in Iceland, people in Iceland, according to ABC News, are waiting to see what happens or what the forces of nature have in store as a long predicted volcanic eruption finally began on Monday. Now, you know, Iceland has that really cool freaking tornado thingy, right? A tornado. Did I say tornado? Volcano.
You know the thing.
So anyway, they're seeing this volcano thing happen. Here's the ABC article from ABC Go. A volcano began erupting Monday in Iceland, the country's meteorological office said after weeks of anticipation, during which tens of thousands of earthquakes rumbled the southwestern coast. An eruption has started in Grindavik, Iceland, Met Office said. In an alert on its website, it can be seen on webcams and seems to be located close to Hagafell, about 3 kilometers, 1.8 miles, north of Grindavik. I don't speak Icelandic. An earthquake swarm started around 9 p.m. local time, and the eruption began at 10:17 p.m. The office said the intensity of the eruption began to decrease within hours, officials said in an update about 4 hours later. The fact that the activity is decreasing already is not an indication of how long the eruption will last, but rather that the eruption is reaching a state of equilibrium. The affected area near Grindavik remained closed off by the country's civil defense president, Grinnet Johannesson. And I don't know why I'm saying those like I'm a Korean, but anyway, said on social media. So yeah, lava tornadoes. Yeah, volcanoes are freaking cool, I think. Unless you're in the path of the lava from one. Oh yes, all the global warming happening at the same. Yes, this is more proof of global warming. So just in case you're wondering, this, more proof of global warming. Here, let's make you see it better there. There you go. There's the helicopter flying over, and there's a lot of volcano watchers. Now, see here, people watch as the night sky is illuminated, caused by the eruption of a volcano in Grindavik, Iceland, in Reykjanes Peninsula. I don't think I'm pronouncing any of those correctly. So anyway, lots of cool internet photos on the Icelandic volcano. Now, this is kind of on top of the fact that there's a volcano in Hawaii that's also was erupting a couple months ago, which I missed it. We were in Hawaii at that stupid Volcanoes National Park a week before the volcano erupted. We saw steam pockets like going crazy, and they're like, "Oh, that's probably going to be an eruption here soon." And then it happened a week after we left. And the one in Hawaii, you can go there's an observation area that even if it erupted and started flowing, you can watch it from that side of the volcano. So anyway, yeah, people are pumped about the volcano in Iceland. I guess I don't know if "pumped's the word, but certainly people are talking about it. Here, let's see. Now, here's who's this? Oh, this is okay. All fear. This is people feared what happened. Now, remember, this is going to emit a hell of a lot of CO2 into the atmosphere, and so it'll cause at least 17 degrees of global warming. But that doesn't count because remember. So the Earth's CO2 is 0.3% of the atmosphere. And like the dude in Australia was talking about it, and he's like, yeah, it's like 0.3% of the atmosphere. Humans account for less than 1% of that. And then Australia accounts for less than 2% of the 1% of the 3% of that. And that's going to cause us all to die. So, of course, so anyway, you get that's kind of the number. So here's a cool picture. Here's one. Here's a video of a helicopter flying over it right here. In fact, here, let's open that up into full screen. So there you go. And it looks like it's cold there too, except for the volcano part. But there's a lot of snow around the rest of it. So that's pretty freaking cool. I just think volcanoes are neat. And as long as you're not in the path of the lava flow. Okay, so there we go. That's why Iceland's trending. Moving on. Also, Jonathan Majors is trending. Now, this is a story I hadn't followed much. Jonathan Majors is the actor who portrayed the character Kang in Marvel Comics. So Jonathan Majors and Kang is trending. And the reason he's trending, well, he's been accused and convicted of assault and harassment. And people are kind of up in arms about this because there's some video that this makes the whole thing questionable. And Marvel's already dropped him. The future of a Marvel Comics universe has been up in the air for a while now, given how the studio behind it, Marvel Studios, owned by Disney, has produced one failure after another over the course of the last few years. But it now seems the entire creative trajectory of the collective storytelling has just been obliterated thanks to actor Jonathan Majors. Major plays the role of Kang the Conqueror, who is being built up to be the next big bad guy, I guess. They missed that word there. Following the conclusion of the Thanos arc that wrapped up with the Avengers Endgame. The jury in New York, a jury in New York found Majors guilty. Now, let me just remind you, a jury in New York, because there's a lot of people saying, "Oh, this is because it is racist." That makes New York the most racist place on the planet. Anyway, a jury in New York found Majors guilty on Monday of 2 misdemeanor counts he was charged with in a connection with an assault on his former girlfriend that transpired earlier in the year. Sounds like a real winner, doesn't he? What a horrible human being. Now, wait, again, I hate that the Daily Wire or this PJ Media, I hate they did that because we don't know. Well, there's I don't know. I guess I didn't follow this stuff. I see video that people have been putting about how the girlfriend was actually being a shithead to him, kind of Amber Heard style, but we'll get back to that. We'll get back to it. Hello, Nomad. There we go. Hammer time. That was delayed. Anyway, so from the Daily Wire, a 6-person jury found Majors guilty of reckless assault in the 3rd degree and guilty of harassment. The jury acquitted him on 2 counts, including intentional assault in the 3rd degree and aggravated harassment in the 2nd degree. Now, what's the difference between guilty of reckless assault and guilty of harassment? What's the difference between reckless assault and intentional assault? So he's guilty of reckless assault, but acquitted on intentional assault? How do you not intentionally assault somebody? I don't get it. Anyway, sentencing in the case is set for February 6th. The charges stem from an altercation that he had with his then girlfriend Grace Jabari in a car. She was left with a broken finger and a bloodied ear from the attack. Jabari testified that the incident happened when Majors received a flirtatious text message on his phone from another woman, and she grabbed the phone out of his hand to look at the message. So she put hands on him first. Majors attempted to get the phone back from her. In the process, he twisted her arm and her finger. She then stated the actor was legitimately trying to hurt her, claiming that she then received a hard blow to the head. The Hollywood Reporter said the charges against Majors were brought by the state of New York rather than by Jabari herself. The case was a criminal trial as opposed to a civil, meaning the burden of proof is higher for the jury, who had to find proof of guilt beyond a reasonable doubt on each charge. Now, is that what means by the difference between reckless assault and being acquitted of intentional assault? Like she grabbed him and he hit her upside the head, which is not cool either, but still, I'm just curious. The difference between like he had did he have what do you call that? A reflex reaction? She grabbed his phone, bah! I don't know. Hello, Shrapnel, what's up? Now he'll be getting the cell block. No, I don't even want to go there. Major's attempt, okay, so anyway, now the other part here is the arrest already had implications on what had been the biggest year in Major's career, which he included starring roles in Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, Creed 3, and Loki Season 2. In the wake of his arrest, both his publicity firm, the lead company, and managers of Management 360 dropped him. His management company dropped him. And the Disney-owned Searchlight Features removed Magazine Dreams from its release calendar, the report added. So anyway, now they're going to go on about the question for Marvel, but the question for Marvel has already been determined. Marvel has dropped Jonathan Majors after his conviction. Marvel Studios cut ties with Jonathan Majors shortly after a New York jury found the actor guilty of reckless assault and harassment of his ex-girlfriend on Monday. A spokesman for the studio confirmed the firing to Deadline, and other news outlets did not provide any further comment. Majors, who is now 34, graduated from the Yale School of Drama and established himself as a rising Hollywood star in recent years with roles in HBO's Lovecraft Country and Creed 3. part of a spin-off franchise that came out of the Rocky series. Oh, really? I guess nobody knew that. Slim Tito, what's up? Welcome. How you doing? Welcome to the show. That's a new name. Nice to have you here. I hope you're part of the 100 people that my audience is going to try to get in here today. So anyway, now, you read the rest of the articles yourself, as you know, or if you're new here, you'll know now, because I'm going to tell you every article and tweet and whatever we put on here, trending topic, they will be listed in the one tab link that I will put in the chat and in the description of both this video and stream on Rumble and YouTube. But at the end of the show, I drop the links into the chat on a single link. You click the link and everything we did will be on one single page. It'll be easy to find. Now, the reason, the trending part though of this, that's the interesting part too, because a lot of people are defending Jonathan Majors, okay, in some interesting ways. So someone like, for example, let's look at some of the tweets here because this is interesting. For example, someone called Willie Wipeout, don't know who that is. Man, fuck all that. This is not no abused woman. Jonathan Majors had to haul ass to get away from this white lady. Like, she's chasing him. She's chasing him and hitting him and stuff. So that's why I'm thinking, what is unintentional assault? So she's chasing him down. She's like, I'm getting the hell out of here. I'm not having anything to do with your ass. Again, the driver testified the accuser was the aggressor, and now the video confirms he was simply trying to get away from her. He literally ran away. How this case has gone on for 8 months is beyond me. So that's some conflicting information that the video from the incident is showing. Now, granted, they said that he hit her upside the head in the car, so that was before he ran away, but so there's a lot of people making memes and jokes about this, or not necessarily jokes because it's not funny. Eric Gold DiStefano, how you doing? If I state how I feel about Jonathan Majors' verdict, I may find myself arguing with a lot of women, just as I did with all the Amber Heard fans. Nope, I'm not touching it. Because women are like, he did this, man, he did that. Now, here's the Daily Loud surveillance footage of Jonathan Majors' incident. Lots of people putting up things about this, and also people are comparing this to some other actors. For example, Ezra Miller was arrested for second-degree assault in Hawaii, was released, and within a year was on the red carpet of a movie premiere. Now, nothing saying that Jonathan Majors won't be back on the red carpet in a year either. But for now, he's been dropped. Jonathan Majors is an example of why I always tell you, call the police on these women, because you can be the victim, and if they call first, then whatever she did to you first doesn't matter. He's going to pay the price, and I hope y'all learn from it. Call the popos. Okay? Now, I haven't seen what Dr. Umar Johnson has said about this. I've seen Tariq Nasheed. Now, Tariq Nasheed is classic. This is classic Tariq Nasheed. White supremacists already took one L this week with Hannah Payne being convicted and sentenced for killing a black man. They weren't about to take another L with Jonathan Majors' case. Now, I'm going to guess that the people in the jury in the state of New York probably didn't even, first of all, give a shit about the Hannah Payne case because they didn't know about it. And also, I thought New York was such a great place for black people. So I don't know, man. I don't know, Tariq, you know, because he's got to put the words white supremacists in succession. That makes him, that's, you know how he is. You know, he's like, oh, what's that? But anyway, and then Umar Johnson, it's 8 minutes long. He went on an 8-minute rant on this, saying they snow bunnied our brother. Now, look, there had to be some evidence here. And, you know, whenever the woman gets hit, it's going to be the man's fault unless you are fortunate enough to have recordings like Johnny Depp did. Now, speaking of Johnny Depp, people are also comparing Jonathan Majors to Amber Heard. Okay, now Amber Heard is who's also trending right now. And it's again, oh gosh, that umbrella guy is getting threats from Amber Heard simps. Okay, but Ezra Miller, but here's the meme. Ezra Miller and Amber Heard about the Jonathan Majors news using one of my favorite all-time actors. Anyway, flashback, they pulled the trigger within minutes for Jonathan Majors. Meanwhile, this woman, Amber Heard, who had no remorse for what she did to Johnny Depp, was able to keep her job and role in Aquaman 2. I wonder why. Because wasn't Aquaman 2 already finished by the time the trial came? They just hadn't released it yet. So that's interesting. But anyway, people are comparing, why does Amber Heard still get her job? Well, because she's a woman. And even women who are convicted of this stuff, she wasn't convicted of anything. That was a civil trial. So it wasn't a criminal trial. But yes, because she has a vagina. All right, let me back up here. We're going to go beyond from this topic, but I got some more notifications, so I just want to check because there's more. Wait, what the hell? I have some more thank yous to do. Thank you, Tito Monroe and LGBFJB. Like the post and also retweeted the show. Thank you for tweeting out the show. That would be Slim Tito. Thank you for tweeting out the show. And then also looks like some more people. Man Squatch, Grampy Hotep. That's already said that. So I appreciate that. Thank you very, very, very much. All right, let's move on to other things that have nothing to do with that. The Pope is trending. Now, there's been news that the Pope, okay, this is an interesting topic because people are saying that the Pope has authorized blessings for same-sex couples, a notable change in church policy. But as Mario Nawfal, the awful, has tweeted here, these blessings will not mirror marriage ceremonies. Well, they're not going to be anything like marriage ceremonies because he's not blessing necessarily a marriage because he was pretty explicit about that. This aligns with Francis's inclusive stance toward LGBTQ plus QIA LMNOP plus Catholics, marking a progressive step in the church's approach. And people are very upset about this. And I'm not Catholic, so I don't know. Someone saying this is blasphemy to Catholicism. Pope Francis is a traitor to the Catholic religion as a whole. He defies the hyper-specific words in the Bible in favor of imposing his own will upon the Catholic religion. He has got to go now. Follow us if you agree. That's some called Right Angled News Network, which I've never heard of. The Pope just proved that the church will keep bending over to please everybody. Pun intended, I bet. I'm sure that was... why do Christians still believe that their Bible is as revealed? It's revealed and hasn't been changed for centuries. People like Pope have been doing for a very long time. Your religion is rigged. No more reflect Yeshua teachings. Look, the only lasting true religion is Islam. Oh my God! See, he's got the Islamists just throwing shade at him. But anyway, good morning to Bishop. Good morning, and the amazing disgrace. What's up? Now, funny, the Babylon Bee, embarrassed Pope suddenly realized he's been reading the Bible upside down this whole time. Oh, the Babylon Bee. Who else thinks this fraud of a Pope should step down immediately? So people are freaking out about this. Now, one thing that you got to understand, I don't think, at least from the way I've read it, he's not saying that he's blessing the relationship. He's not blessing the marriage. He's not allowing popes to do it in any kind of robes. He can't do it even you have to be dressed in street clothes to even be able to say, hey, you people are, despite the fact that you're love the sinners, hate the sin kind of thing. You know what I mean? Just that, we're blessing you as human beings, not necessarily as this attached, any significant couple thing. Hello, TC, what's up? So I don't know, Pat. Now, but the thing is, again, people are interpreting this as Pope Francis has now approved Catholic priests blessing same-sex couples, but none of us, including the Pope, has the right to bless what God calls sin. Woe to those who call evil good and good evil. This is Franklin Graham, son of, is that Billy Graham's kid? I think so. Someone else, this is terrorism, says Pope Francis about Israel. Oh, that's talking about the Israeli kid. He's out all kinds of, So anyway, what are your feelings about the Pope deciding to bless gay couples? Let's put that in the question of the day. How about that? We'll just cut and paste that and see what you think here. But again, I don't think he's blessing gay couples. He's blessing people who have sinned. And so you can add your own answer to that in the Q&A box there. And we'll see what you guys have to say about that. All right, let's move on from that. Also trending is, what's the next thing here? Oh, Chip Roy. Oh, Chip Roy is trending. Now, Chip Roy, the congressman from Texas. And look, I'm you know me, I'm fine with all these Republicans doing their own thing. Everyone's going to decide who they want to support and whatnot. But Chip Roy is actually a Ron DeSantis fan, okay? And so he was on Fox News, and he was talking about Ron DeSantis, saying Ron DeSantis will actually sign border security legislation, unlike President Trump, who in 2018 was siding with Paul Ryan to try to pass an amnesty first rather than a border security first bill, which left us with the situation we're facing right now. Oh, I'm not sure if that's accurate. I don't think Trump liked Paul Ryan's kind of amnesty type thing. Did he do it? Anyway, here's Chip Roy on Fox News, and then I'm going to then, by the way, guess who might have reacted to this? Again, Chip Roy is supporting Ron DeSantis. So here is Chip Roy. Why is this doing that? Why do I need, what the hell? Let's see if I can get it from here. Here, let's try this. There we go. Maybe. Hello, play. What the fuck's going on here? Has this been deleted? I don't know. I'm not having internet problems, am I? Huh. Anyway, the MAGA people are very angry with Chip Roy, as is Donald Trump. Okay, whatever. You got the quote. So anyway, here's Donald Trump's reaction to Chip Roy. Now, in Trump world, Chip Roy and Thomas Massie are rhinos, and Lindsey Graham and Bruce Jenner are the real conservatives. Oh, this brain disease called Trumpism should be thoroughly studied. Now, I'm not happy with Trump about this either, because I support the former president. I like Ron DeSantis. I like Vivek. I like all of them, except I'm not a fan of Nikki Haley or Chris Christie. But Trump's response: has any smart and energetic Republican in the great state of Texas decided to run in the primary against Rhino Congressman Chip Roy for the right person? He's very beatable. If interested, let me know. So it's a little too late because they're done with the for this particular election. They're done taking applications, whatever. What do you do when you register to be a candidate, whatever? It's too late. Let's just put it that way. It's already done. So anyway, and people are pointing out Trump, who caved on bump stocks, and Fauci calling Chip Roy of Texas a rhino, or caved on bump stocks, and Fauci is calling Chip Roy of Texas a rhino, and to be primaried is just laughable at this point. Is laughably insane. Run it back, guys. Look, I'm going to say it right now. Trump's wrong on this. Chip Roy has been solid in the House of Representatives, and don't you dare get rid of Chip Roy. Although there is this chick running against him, Dr. Kristen Hook, PhD. PhD. What's your PhD in? It's official. Today I filed to run as Democratic candidate against Chip Roy to serve the needs of Texas' 21st Congressional District. This is what a scientist running for office looks like. Let's do this, Texas. What does the fuck have you being a scientist running for office mean? Doesn't mean anything. Nobody wants you in that district. That's a heavily Republican district. So anyway, Chip Roy is now in a feud with Donald Trump. Not necessarily, it might be one way. He's bashing Trump and Look, Chip Roy, Thomas Massey, who Trump, for whatever reason, is angry with both of them. Turn your fire at Democrats and Joe Biden and forget about your fellow Republicans, okay? They're going to help you get shit done if you decide to do it this time, okay? Moving on, John Fetterman is trending, and that's because a lot of Democrats are kind of raising eyebrows, especially the progressive, the what do you call those weirdos? The squad, the squad. And it's weird because some people are like taking a second look at Fetterman going, he's become more America first than 80% of the GOP. Here's an example. Talking about U.S. Steel.
I'm standing on the roof of my home right here in Braddock, Pennsylvania, right across the street from the Edgar Thompson plant. And I just have to say it's absolutely outrageous that they have sold themselves to a foreign nation and a company. Can't do that. Steel is always about security as well, too. And I am committed to doing anything I can do from using my platform or my position in order to block this. And I'm going to fight for the steel workers and their union way of life.
Woo! Damn!
We cannot ever allow them to be screwed over or left behind.
Now, what's interesting, I don't know if they had to take a bunch of takes to get that, but, I kind of respect him for that. He's been saying some shit lately that I'm going, are you sure you're a Democrat? And he's basically blurted out the other day, he said, I am a Democrat. I am not a progressive. And that did that rile up some feathers in the left-wing circles and shit. Fetterman is just a clown. He doesn't care about U.S. Steel. And even if Japan does purchase it, so what? Fetterman was all for regs which closed the industry down in Pennsylvania. Okay, that might be some insider information that I don't know. I'm curious though. So anyway, he's not happy about U.S. Steel. And also another one, let's see. Oh, Democratic Senator John Fetterman plans to block the sale of the company U.S. Steel to a foreign country. Do you support this? I'm curious too. Good morning, Cracked. Welcome. Yeah, he does appear to be speaking a lot better. And I noticed that even in a recent, like he was out with the during the Palestinian protests, and he was at a rally for Israel or whatever, and he was speaking. And it's not just in these pre-recorded things. He actually seems to be speaking better. I'm still not a fan because he says he's not a progressive, but you got to remember, the year he was running for office, he was claiming to be a progressive. So, who knows? Good morning, Asan. Nice to see you. Moving on. Let's see. Oh, no, that's not Amber. There did that. Oh, Brandon is trending. Brandon. Now, usually when you hear the word Brandon is trending, it's usually in conjunction with the words, let's go, Brandon. But this is not why. There are actually two Brandons that are causing the name Brandon to trend. One of them is Mayor Brandon Johnson of Chicago, who is very upset about immigration. And, here's him getting a little angry because Texas has been sending some of their border crossers to Chicago.
The issue is not just how we respond in the city of Chicago.
You're a
it's the fact
sanctuary
that we
city.
have a governor, an elected official in the state of Texas that is placing families on buses without shoes, cold, wet, tired, hungry.
Without shoes? I thought the federal government was providing them with shit. They come in with suitcases and shit. What do you mean they're not got no shoes? What are you talking about?
Afraid, traumatized, and then they come to the city of Chicago where we have homelessness, we have mental health clinics that have been
where
shut
you're
down
a
and
sanctuary
closed.
city.
You have people who are seeking employment.
See, here's a problem. Here's Brandon's problem. You're still putting them up, spending thousands of dollars every day, hundreds of thousands of dollars every day. You're pushing people out of places to accommodate them. Now, maybe your ire should be upon the big guy. You know, the big guy, the 10% for the big guy. I'm sorry. And what the problem is too is your constituents, the black folk in Chicago, are very upset with you because you made it a sanctuary city. Where should we send all these asylum seekers? Well, the best place would be the place that invited them. The sanctuary city is the place. Come give us your, we're going to be like the Statue of Liberty. Come give us your tired and poor. I'm sorry. You asked for this shit. Denver, Chicago, New York City, San Francisco, Los Angeles, this whole state of California. Remember when Gavin Newsom said this was a sanctuary state? Well, he's backed off on that nonsense. But still, you wanted them. You got them. Toyota. Building a plant in Mexico.
The governor of Texas needs to take a look in the mirror of the chaos that he is causing for this country.
Whoa, wait a minute, Brandon. Mr. Johnson. The governor of Texas is causing this? The governor, imagine, he's probably sending, 2-3% of those people to Chicago? Imagine, or maybe even 1% at best, of the people who are crossing the border into Texas via Eagle Pass. There were 15,000 in one day recently. Did he send 15,000 to Texas? I don't think so. A vast majority of those people are still in Texas, in the border towns, just milling about, causing all sorts of problems. Some of them are ended up in Chicago. Oh, by the way, we'll get to this in a minute, but apparently the federal government has also been flying some of them to New York because he says every place else is full. I'm sure the mayor of New York is just thrilled to see that. Anyway.
This is not just a Chicago dynamic. He is attacking our country.
He is attacking our country. Where are these? Wait a minute. Hold up. Hey, where do you think these people are coming from? Hold up. Hey, why do you think they're getting in so easy? Hold up. Hey, I just don't know what you're talking about. What you talking about, Brandon? So anyway, he's very upset. He's very, very, very upset. And so that's one Brandon that's trending. Also trending is Brandon Straka. Okay, now Brandon Straka, he's a Republican activist, basically. He's the guy, the walkaway guy. You ever hear the walkaway campaign? He's the walkaway guy, and he's the guy who started that. Walked away from the Democratic Party, and he's a big Trump supporter, whatever. Well, he was at the U.S. Capitol January 6, 2021. He was charged with several charges, and he ended up plea bargaining down to a single misdemeanor on one single misdemeanor, right? But there have been a couple lawsuits also related to that. One, he did a defamation suit against somebody, I can't remember who, but also there was a lawsuit against him by 8 Capitol police officers who, under the KKK Act, said that he was targeting them and he caused them damage, whatever. Well, today, I saw this morning. I'm not going to play the video. You can watch this video afterwards, but I'm going to read his tweet here because he won that case. He writes, "Victory. I have won the J6 civil case against me by the corrupt, lying leftist Soros-funded DC nonprofit law firm Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights under the law."
You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier.
Not Brandon, but them. Over 2 years, 2 years ago, I was served in a civil lawsuit by 8 black and brown Capitol police officers whom I've never met, had no contact with on January 6th, and whom I was not even within proximity of. They sued me under the KKK Act, alleging that I was engaged in a white supremacist attack on black and brown police officers. Now, this is the dumbest case I've ever heard. I can't even believe they tried to pull this shit. That I caused their injuries, which included being pepper sprayed and becoming, quote, exhausted, end quote. Oh my God, you were out there trying to do your job, and conspired to encroach on their civil rights. Now, look, what's amazing about this? In order to have done that, wouldn't you have had to plan to know where they were and kind of seek them out? That's really weird. Anyway, almost every detail in the allegation against me was a lie. In fact, I'll say a known lie, knowing that I committed no violence on January 6th and didn't encourage anybody else to either. This lawsuit alleged that I had, quote, violently, quote, end quote, breached the barricades of the Capitol and proceeded to attack police officers, including the plaintiffs. The case entered discovery, where we gathered evidence that conclusively showed that none of these officers were even on the side of the building I was on during my brief time on Capitol grounds. One of the plaintiffs was in Maryland at the time I was there. There should be sanctions against these lawyers. If this officer wasn't even at the Capitol during this thing, why was he even in the case? Anyway, the case cost me well into six figures to defend and hundreds of hours of my time, which of course is the whole point. The left has weaponized our legal system, turning Democrat majority districts into playgrounds where they can abuse the process to harm those who get in the way of their political agendas. But this case was even too preposterous for the DC courts. He won a case in DC, which is not easy. And after years of fighting, I have won. There's much needed. This is a much-needed victory for truth, for decency, and even a shred of restoration of our faith that justice still exists within corners of our legal system. I thank all of you who helped support me through this battle. Your support got me through, and my victory is your victory. So anyway, congratulations to him on that. There's more detail in the video that he puts out, but that's the other Brandon that is trending. And my last just straight-up trending topic is this one. Tucker is trending, and I don't even know why. I just saw someone post a video. Not unusual for Tucker Carlson to trend on Twitter, but he's a little angry with the DeSantis people, and I kind of see his point a little bit. And so this is Tucker talking about the DeSantis people, and I don't have any gripes with the DeSantis people. Hello, Selected Boy, nice to see ya. I don't have a boy. Thank you, Flavor. But he's kind of pissed off the DeSantis people by saying this.
Can I just ask a question, since you all are so on the internet and like I'm not that much? You really get the sense that Ron DeSantis, who I liked as governor, the people who represent him online are the nastiest, the stupidest, and the most zero-sum people I've ever seen in my life. And I don't think that reflects him, but it's like,
hello,
this
Phantom Dog Fart too.
And by the way, these purported conservatives, Ron DeSantis changed his view, and I like him, okay? I think he's been a good governor. I just want to be clear about that. I know him personally. I like him. But his donor, Ken Griffin, told him to change his view on Ukraine from it's a regional conflict we shouldn't get involved in to it's a super important thing, we should send more money. One donor got him to change his view, and all these so-called conservatives are supporting that like it's the most important thing ever. Like, who are these people, and what is their problem? Like, what is going on with them?
It does reflect.
Now, Tim Pool is on this panel. This is at like a TPUSA convention or some shit. And Tim Pool's going to say something kind of stupid here because, of course, it's Tim Pool. But anyway, here's Tim Pool's take.
Ron, because Ron should have fired the people running his campaign a long time ago. Look, I respect that he wanted to launch his campaign on X, on Twitter Spaces at the time.
Agree.
And it failed miserably. This is a mistake. And now you've got, look, I know a lot of people groan, but a lot of
Monday
people laugh. The
morning
high
copywriting.
heels, boots scandal. I mean, who's giving this guy advice, and why does he keep taking it? Because I will.
The high heel boot scandal. That's a manufactured shit. That has nothing to do with anything, Tim. Whatever.
I will say it politically and policy-wise. We love Ron DeSantis.
Yeah.
He's done an amazing job.
I agree.
But his campaign is a train wreck.
Yeah.
Okay, and I don't know. Yeah, well, his campaign's not working, and unfortunately, it's not. So, I would still say that DeSantis is probably one of our best governors as far as policy goes and getting the things done that needs to be done. All right, let's move on to some things that are happening in my world and your world, but this one is particularly in my world, and thank you, Gun Fox, for reminding me of this fresh hell that I'm about to show you, because the great state of Minnesota has decided to redesign the Minnesota state flag. And there is a particular problem, at least as far as I'm concerned, with this flag. And whoever thought this was a good idea can go straight to hell. So, now, the reason, by the way, that they were decided that it was important to change this flag of the state of Minnesota is, and also they're changing the state seal, because apparently the old state flag and the old state seal were racist.
That's racist!
Because the images, they didn't like the fact that there was cooperation between the Native American and the new Minnesotan. And is it two pepperonis glazing each other? No. But here's the problem. First of all, here's the article. Commission selects final concept for the redesigned Minnesota state flag, and this is it. State Amendment Redesign Commission selected this design as the final concept for the new Minnesota flag on December 15, 2023. Now, I don't know if, I hope to God we have to vote on this, but we'll get to it. I'm getting to it, because after months of hearings, the panel tasked with creating new symbols for Minnesota has settled on a flag concept, but more work lies ahead as they hone the final details. Members of the State Emblems Redesign Commission on Friday voted to support designs inspired by the submission from 24-year-old Laverne residents Andrew Precker, as opposed to Pecker, through many tweaks already in the works. It's in original form. It's a flag with white, green, and light blue horizon stripes and a navy blue section on the left that mimics the shape of Minnesota. I didn't notice that part. And in that section is an 8-point white star meant to symbolize the state's motto, Star of the North, as well as its unity in a diverse land. The white stripe symbolizes snow. The green stripe represents nature and agriculture. The light blue stripe represents the state's waters, from which it's more than 10,000 lakes to the Mississippi River. Precker, not Pecker, Precker says the swallowtail design is unique among flags of the world, and he wanted to keep as simple as possible. The design was selected for more than 2,000 public submissions, and multiple rounds of elimination by the 13-member commission. Debate Friday centered around the 3 final designs, and the commission chair, Lewis Fitch, said they eventually settled on the design with the abstract shape of Minnesota due to its simplicity and directness. Ahead of voting to whittle down choices from the final 3, Fitch said he hoped the future generations would embrace the new flag. We're not going to be able to make everybody happy, he said, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so done. Now, apparently a few changes. Okay, so apparently there have been changes from the way he started out. The state's Emblem Redesign Commission selected this design as a possible final concept for the new Minnesota flag. Okay, these are other ideas that they're possibly changing. So here's all these different things. Now, so there's a bunch of variations of it. So here's the problem with the new flag, okay? And it kind of comes up in the American Thinker here. I'm going to hell for that one. No, you're not going to hell for that one. There's much worse. The problem is the Minnesota new state flag looks nearly identical to one out of Somalia. And as you know, Minnesota has a large portion of Somalian population because a lot of the Somali refugees ended up here, including our great Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. So Minnesota is home to the largest Somali population in in the West. Representative Ilhan Omar is from Puntland. Puntland is the state in Somalia that she's from, and Minnesota just unveiled our new flag. That is, again, is not the final one. I'm sure this is just a coincidence. Look at the new flag for Minnesota, and this is the flag for Puntland state of Somalia. Wow, there's some major similarities there. Did not anyone in the Flag Commission not notice this or not? So, in September, Minnesota launched an initiative to create a new state flag, and the flag replaced longstanding designs after it was determined that these dated elements were offensive to certain elevated classes, Native Americans. From an item put ABC, the State Commission went to work Tuesday on designing a new state flag and seal for Minnesota to replace the current emblem that's considered offensive to Native Americans. One of the main elements of the Minnesota flag included a prominent state seal against a blue background. The seal depicts a Native American riding off into the sunset while a white settler plows his field with his rifle leaning on a nearby stump. The imagery suggests that many of the indigenous people were defeated and going away while whites won and were staying. Kind of happened that way. I guess maybe I could see why that might be upsetting to Native Americans. But anyway, as you could have guessed, the decision to erase and rewrite history a la Howard Zinn was made by the Democrat-controlled legislature, which we're 100% Democrat. Our legislature, governor, and whatever, Senate, everything's Democrats here. They call them the DFL, the Democrat Farmer Labor Party. Anyway, which delegated a commission composed of tribal people and other communities of color. And according to the commission's vice chair, Anita Gall, via the AP, what I'm looking for is creating a flag that we can all be proud of, and a flag that everybody can look and say, yay, that's the Minnesota flag. That's a cool flag. That's very distinctive. They look like fucking children made them up. Anyway, well, as we saw above, the final design has now been selected, and not only has the white man been eliminated from the equation, but the rest of those tribal people too. The proposal design looks nearly identical to that of Puntland, an autonomous zone of Somalia that remains unrecognized by the international community from Flags of the World website. So anyway, it looks like frickin' Somali flag that Ilhan Omar came from. So I bet you she thinks, oh my God, they're honoring my home state. Fuck me. Anyway, let's just move on from that bullshit. Let's see. Oh, the other article that that Gunfox sent to me. This is actually interesting too. Apparently, a U.S.-Canada joint multinational operation to counterattack on the commercial ships in the Red Sea. So the United States, Canada, and a host of other nations are creating a new force to protect ships transiting the Red Sea that have come under attack by drones and ballistic missiles fired from the Houthi-controlled areas of Yemen. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin announced early Tuesday in Bahrain. The seriousness of the attack, several of which have damaged the vessels, has led to multiple shipping companies to order their ships to hold in place and not enter the Bab el-Mandeb Strait until the security situation can be addressed. This is an international challenge that demands collective action, Austin said in a statement released just after midnight in Bahrain. Therefore, today I am announcing the establishment of Operation Prosperity Guardian, an important new multinational security initiative. United Kingdom, Bahrain, Canada, France, Italy, Netherlands, Norway, Seychelles, and Spain will join the U.S. in a new mission. Austin announced some of the countries will conduct joint patrols while others provide intelligence support in the southern Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. So now it says Canada won't deploy any ships, but will send a handful of personnel to the International Task Force, a government source told CBC News. So this is the CBC that's telling this. So Canadians, of course, Trudeau, won't send any actual firepower, but they'll have some advisors. Kind of like, I guess, this Vietnam type shit. But anyway, the United States will do the heavy lifting. Now, here's an interesting take from the Daily Wire on this situation, who says Biden finally does a bare minimum to address Houthi attacks in the Red Sea. President Joe Biden finally did a bare minimum this week to respond to dozens of Islamic terrorist attacks that have been launched against commercial shipping vessels in the Red Sea over the last several weeks. The announcement from the Department of Defense comes after the Yemen-based Houthis, an Iranian-backed terrorist group, have launched missiles, suicide drones, and what's a suicide drone? A drone is a drone. There's no one in it. You can't commit suicide from a drone unless you're riding on it like Clockwork Orange or some shit. Anyway, suicide drones, and have hijacked ships with ties to Israel. Oh, I suppose if you're just destroying the drone, but it's not suicide. There are people on it. Anyway, and have hijacked ships with ties to Israel ever since Israel launched its offensive against Hamas in response to the October 7 terrorist attacks. The administration unveiled the establishment of Operation Prosperity Guardian, an important new multilateral security initiative under the umbrella of the Combined Maritime Forces and leadership of its Task Force 153, which focuses on security in the Red Sea. So anyway, they're going to, I don't know how you, do they have, I'm sure they do, they have weapons that will take down drones and missiles and stuff, kind of like Iron Dome. I don't know. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. That's interesting. All right. Thank you, Gun Fox, for those two articles. Appreciate you, brother. I had some things behind this. Illegals is trending. Oh, because let's get into the main topic, because it's trending all over Twitter. Okay, but let's get into this because there's some interesting happenings. Let me just show you the trending topics first. Illegals is trending because we're having a horrible problem at our northern border also, which is getting overwhelmed with illegals coming in. Border Patrol says 85% of people on the terror watch list have come from the northern border. Listen to what this whistleblower says about the hotels in Buffalo where they put illegals. So this is interesting. Here's the Fox News report.
On the southern border, our northern border with Canada is seeing an alarming increase as well in the number of migrant crossings, and terror watch list suspects are among them. Senior correspondent Mike
Darren Root
along the U.S.-Canada border in Buffalo, New York for us, which is now getting hit from two sides of this migrant crisis. Mike.
It really is, Sandra. Of all of the people on the terror watch list picked up while trying to enter the United States, 85% of them were nabbed here at the northern border.
At the northern border. So now we're getting them from both ends. I wonder what's Justin doing about this?
People trying to find a weak point are heading here to the nation's.
Good God. Hello, Duck and Felonies. What's up? What up, girl?
Even as the Niagara River rages in frigid temperatures, migrants are taking the chance to make it into the United States from Canada. In November, over the course of 4 days, Border Patrol says 4 people, 3 from Mexico, attempted to cross in flimsy
Those ain't real, dude. What's up?
rafts. As others attempt on foot, Border Patrol encounters with migrants
Look at this.
border have increased 7-fold since 2021.
There's this.
The biggest concern.
It's because once you get here, the Biden administration ain't doing shit. Deport everyone, as Gary Oldman would say. What movie was that from? I don't remember what movie that's from. Where he's like, kill everyone, get them all. Isn't that one of the? Isn't that one of those Jason Statham movies? Anyway, I don't know. Who cares? Oh no, that's the one. It's the one where the guy's protecting the little girl, isn't it? The Professional. Yes, The Professional. That's what it's from. Okay, and good morning, those ain't real, dude, and Anna Lynn. So,
control people that they cannot perform what they need to perform because of lack of manpower and lack of funding.
Buffalo, New York is getting it from two sides. Unable to handle the crush of migrants in New York City, migrants were bused to the Buffalo area.
From New York City. So Mayor Adams is busing them from New York City to Buffalo now, too. There we go. Hello, Mystic Force. What's up?
Service shelters. Local police have already dealt with cases of rape and sexual assault.
Okay. So anyway, you can if you want to watch the rest of that, it's in this link. But And also there's a problem in London. What's going on? Holy moly, illegals. And then what? Maybe if New Jersey didn't have 1 to 2 million illegals, we wouldn't have a housing crunch. Oh, somebody said lawmakers announced legislation today to update enforcement of New Jersey's groundbreaking affordable housing model. The Martin Law framework must be safeguarded and strengthened. Okay, that has nothing to do with it. Here it is, though. Here it is. Now, so now at the southern border? What's happening at the southern border in Eagle Pass is a complete dereliction of duty from President Joe Biden. 12,600 illegals. I know people don't like me calling them illegals, but they're illegal is a term for people who have crossed our border illegally. It doesn't mean that no person is illegal. No, but if they committed an illegal act, that's the nickname for people who commit illegal acts that are having to do with crossing our border. 12,600 illegals. The highest single-day total ever recorded. This breaks the record of 12,000 encounters that was set just 2 weeks ago. And these are mostly coming from, this particular wave is mostly from Venezuela. The one 2 weeks ago was mostly from Haiti. Again, how do you cross our border by land when you have to cross water to get to the land to cross our border? If you had to, and again, this should be an automatic policy. If you're from Syria, if you're from some country in Africa, if you're from, India or wherever, if you had to cross water to cross our southern border illegally, you should be immediately deported, flown back to wherever the fuck you came from. But no, even in these encounters, they're putting them up in hotels and letting them go and come back for your trial date. There's 7 million since Joe Biden came into office. How many of those trials, those hearings for your asylum that you bullshit asked for, are they even going to show up? Of 7 million since Biden came into office. Anyway, Tommy Lauren, illegals in New York City are reportedly complaining about the free food they've been given. Meanwhile, actual Americans are in the streets, homeless and starving. Send all these ungrateful illegals back to where they came from. Jesse Kelly, if the GOP can hold strong tying border security to Ukraine aid, Zelensky might as well start negotiating a surrender now. Communists have dreamt of flooding this country with illegals for decades. Now they're finally doing it, and they're not giving that up for anything. So anyway, and also things trending. This is Bill. This isn't trending. This is Bill Milligan. I'm going to put his handle in here. He's been down there for months reporting on this. Here's a couple of the recent tweets from him. New, as Eagle Pass, Texas is completely overrun with mass illegal crossings, so too is Border Patrol's Tucson, Arizona sector, which saw over 3,000 known illegal crossings yesterday. This is the scene at Lukeville, Arizona this morning, where hundreds from around the globe crossed illegal. And again, they're not from Mexico. A lot of these asshole congressmen are saying, oh, you're racist against Mexicans. Very few of these are from Mexico. They're from countries in South America. They're from India. They're from countries in Africa. They're coming from the Middle East. They're coming from everywhere around the freaking world. And almost, you hardly hear about Mexicans crossing. Where Mexicans like, I don't want to go there. There's too many Ecuadorians there. They're racist against Ecuadorians. So anyway, so here's some of the scenes here. Look at how many people, and look, what is that right there? They're coming through Eagle Pass, Texas, to show you some of the pictures of the people being processed. Yeah, like these brothers, they are not from Mexico. These are some brothers from some other mother. Anyway, and Haitians and Venezuelans and just they're freaking everywhere. Salvadorians and everywhere. So let's see here. Another one of his tweets here. Breaking Border Patrol sources. There were more than 12,600 migrants encountered at the southern border in the last 24 hours, the highest single-day total ever recorded. The true number is significantly higher because there are thousands still waiting to be processed in Eagle Pass, and they do not count in the numbers until they are put into the computers. The official numbers yesterday include 11,000 Border Patrol apprehensions of illegal immigrants and more than 1,600 migrants encountered at CBP ports of entry. This breaks the record of 12,000 encounters that was set just 2 weeks ago. And again, that doesn't include the ones they haven't even started processing yet. And they're also giving cell phones, chargers, gift cards, and plane tickets to wherever they want, and we're paying for it. Now, that's why Delta is trending, because this is actually St. Clair. My Delta flight from Phoenix appears to be flying migrants who cross the border and are being shipped to New York. Wait a minute. Does Mayor Adams know about this? And when I asked a Delta representative if this was the case, his response was, well, what does it matter? They're humans too. What kind of answer is that? Guess what? When an illegal alien takes your little ticketing job at Delta Airlines, then you'll be worried about it. Migrant's place, and here's the other thing. Migrant placed next to me in premium cabin still has a bag from processing center. A majority of this flight is migrants bust in from the processing center. Can Delta please let all of their customers know what medical screenings are being done to these migrants illegally? Where is this at? Crossing our border from all over the world and being flown on their flights. Yeah, they don't know. They don't know. They probably all have COVID. The entire flight full of migrants is being shipped from processing centers on Delta. Are taxpayer dollars paying for it? Of course they are. So anyway, here's some articles. And here's what the Biden administration is trying to do. Or here's what they tried. They actually tried to do something. Here it is. Reuters. U.S. closes 2 rail bridges to Mexico amid migrant surge. U.S. border officials on Sunday closed 2 rail bridges that move freight trains between Texas and Mexico after detecting a surge in the smuggling of migrants through Mexico by train. Because, you see the videos of them all trying to get on trains. Well, there's 2 major border crossing bridges that they're closing because they know that they're trying to get on trains. The move by U.S. Customs and Border Protection was the latest in a series of similar closures along the border in order to redeploy enforcement resources elsewhere in response to the large number of migrants. The international railway crossings at Eagle Pass and El Paso were closed in order to redirect personnel to assist the U.S. Border Patrol with taking migrants into custody. So it's still to take them into custody instead of telling them to hit the bricks. After observing a recent resurgence of smuggling organizations moving migrants through Mexico via freight trains, CBP is taking additional actions to surge personnel and address this concerning development, including partnership with the Mexican authorities. Yes, the Mexican authorities are just saying, come on down. So anyway, now, what's interesting about that? They closed the 2 bridges, right? Well... here's the legal insurrection too. Biden border crisis. Texas railways at international crossings suspended due to migrant surge. So if you want to read a different version of it, it's in legal insurrection. But here's the problem. Oh, wait, that's not the one. Where's the Union Pacific one? Oh no, did I accidentally close it? I must have. Anyway, a couple of the rail companies are complaining. They are very upset because, let's see, is this it? One of the rail companies are saying, wait a minute, how are we supposed to bring in product from Mexico when these are the 2 major lines and we can't redirect other lines going to other crossings from Mexico to here? So they're saying, we need these open again. We can't do this. Tequila prices rise 47% due to bridge closures. Probably. They just effectively killed transport of necessary goods. That's exactly right. And the rail companies are saying that. Here it is. Oh no, that's a statement from CBP. Customs and Border Patrol. Nope, it's not here. I had an article, but I don't have it now. Let me see if I can find it. Hang on a second. Let's take a quick look here. Oh, why did I close Ace? Oh, here it is. Oh, no. Anyway, I just saw an article about it, but yeah, the rail companies are not happy about this because these are two major arteries in the rail business coming from Mexico, and so they can't redirect some of it. So yeah, anything that comes from Mexico is probably going to raise in price, or Biden will cave. Which do you think it'll be? Put a 1 in the chat if you think Biden will cave, or 2 if he'll actually keep the rail crossings closed. I don't know. Probably not. What products from Mexico? Well, yeah, American products made in Mexico. Now, on another note, though, this is interesting. The governor of Texas has signed a bill making illegal migrant entry from Mexico a state crime. Now, this is one of those things where they're going to find a judge who's going to have an injunction on this law. Texas Governor Greg Abbott signed a bill into making Texas the first state in the union to give law enforcement officers the authority to arrest migrants who illegally enter the state. The measure, SB 4, was signed into law on Monday during a ceremony at the base of the border wall in Brownsville, Texas. The bill is part of a package of measures designed to decrease the flow of migrants entering the state from Mexico. Texas legislature passed the bills during 2 special sessions this fall. So he signed a law that says, okay, we're going to start arresting you fuckers. And I know what's going to happen. The Biden administration is going to sue in federal court the state of Texas to make it so they can't do that. And because, the Biden administration doesn't care and they're not going to do their job. Now, there is a poll of overwhelming a majority of Americans voters want employers in the United States. This is another way you could stop illegal immigration. Overwhelming majority of Americans want employers in the United States to be prosecuted for hiring illegal aliens, a Fox News poll revealed. Now, I thought it was already illegal to hire illegal aliens. Or is it legal to hire illegal aliens who have been processed and have been awaiting their asylum hearings? I don't even know. It's such murky water now because, first of all, the Biden administration is not going to prosecute anybody anyway. The poll, which surveyed more than 1,000 registered voters, was conducted from December 10th through December 13th, found that 64% of Americans want federal government to penalize and fine employers that hire illegal aliens for U.S. jobs, akin to enacting mandatory E-Verify nationwide. Only 32% opposed such a policy, while 4% of voters said they were unsure. What were you unsure of? Importantly, for the 2024 presidential and congressional candidates, 61% of swing voters said they support nationwide mandatory E-Verify, as well as 64% of self-described moderates. So I think some people at least, are getting tired of it. Here we go. Moving on. And this is kind of, it's related but not related. Hamas. Remember, a lot of these people crossing our borders aren't necessarily, they're not from Mexico, and they're not all from South America. Some are coming from other places unknown. Hamas calls for violence against America, and so does this Michigan imam. Could a war in Israel spread to the United States? Sure, some people want it to. Hamas has never made it secret that the fact that its goal is destroying Israel is just a part of a larger jihad to conquer the entire world for Islam. And so it was inevitable, both in light of that aspiration and the Biden regime's shaky but still subsisting support for Israel's defensive effort, that Hamas jihadis would call for violence against Americans. And what's more surprising, at least for those who have bought into the comforting establishment fictions that have been circling since 9/11, is that one such call came right from here at home. Hamas operative Sami Abu Zuhri recently proclaimed that the Biden regime, Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, despite pressuring Israel to go easy on the warriors of jihad, was just as bad as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Quote, when Blinken is justifying the killing of women and children, the sons of our nation should say to him, you are the enemy, just like Netanyahu, and you must pay the price, just like Netanyahu. We should keep in mind, yes, we should indeed. Or keep this in mind. If you're wondering when exactly Blinken justified the killing of women and children, the answer is, of course, never. Blinken has actually parroted Hamas's propaganda in warning Israel that it must do more to reduce civilian deaths, when the reality, the number of civilians killed in Gaza compares favorably to death toll of civilians in other recent conflicts, which don't word it that way. Notably, the Battle of Mosul against ISIS in Iraq. Nevertheless, Abu Zuri wants to see American blood. Now it's our nation's turn to pressure the Americans to stop this war. We need violent acts against American and British interests everywhere, as well as interests of all the countries that support the occupation. So, and apparently there's a Muslim cleric in Michigan who has parroted that same kind of rhetoric. So, should we be concerned? Of course, we should always be concerned. And let's see, in the American Thinker, what was this? Oh, just that Europe has given us a warning about unlimited Muslim migration. Look, I think we should do it friendly countries. It's not about necessarily Muslim, but where they're from. Islam, okay, this says Islam by its nature is an ideology centered around conquest. That's why within 100 years of Muhammad's death, Muslims had conquered large swaths of the known world. And unlike Christians, this conquest was not effectuated mostly through persuasion, something separate from internecine wars between different types of Christian nations fighting for political control. Instead, this conquest was brutal. In Europe, which started with a trickle of Islamic immigration after World War II that turned into a flood in 2015, we're seeing what happens when devout Muslims have the wind at their back. So this is anyway, I'm gonna let you get the gist of the article. I'm gonna skip it because I'm trying to get caught up, but it's definitely worth the read. Now, this is not just a problem in the United States, and we're hearing the same theme in many other countries. For example, in Ireland, a group of Irish lawyers is calling out the Irish government for blatantly disregarding international law in order to welcome even greater hordes of West-hating migrants, saying enough is enough. Lawyers for Justice Ireland describe themselves on Twitter X as a group of pro bono Irish lawyers committed to empowering people with knowledge to take action to uphold our natural rights and freedoms. In a lengthy December 18th post, the group decried the lawless behavior of both migrants and government officials as the migrant issue continues to convulse Ireland. So they're having similar problems. Actually, the problems in Europe are worse because the numbers-wise, I mean, they're people from foreign lands who are getting citizenship are able to vote and create little pockets like Dearborn, Michigan. Anyway, according to the lawyers group, not only has the Irish government voluntarily taken migrants it does not have to accept under European Union policy, but most of the supposed asylum seekers, this sounds familiar, most of the supposed asylum seekers are violating international law since Ireland isn't the migrants' first port of entry. And that's the problem here. We're getting people asking for asylum from countries all over the world that the first port of entry is not the United States, like India, for example. Or there was the country? Senegal. There's a bunch from Senegal for some reason. Who knows? So anyway, you're getting a similar problem in Ireland and also here. We're moving on to different topics. Okay, never mind. All right, enough about immigration. Let's move on. I'm going to finish these. I don't care how late I am. This is an article in, let's see, get this right here. There we go. This is parents are suing a blue state school district for transitioning their daughter without their consent. You're seeing a lot more lawsuits like this. Why are we singing Sail Away? Come sail away, come sail away, come sail away with me, lad. Two parents filed a lawsuit Monday against a Michigan school district after discovering that their daughter's middle school was allegedly socially transitioning her without their knowledge. This shit's got to stop. And I'm sure Gretchen Whitler is just all for this. Dan and Jennifer Meade claim that they discovered that their daughter, who they're just calling GM, who was attending East Rockford Middle School in 2022 school year, was going by male pronouns and a different name, and that the school tried to cover it up. According to the lawsuit, the Meads, who are being represented by Alliance Defending Freedom, said that they initially had no reason to suspect anything because the school had previously been upfront with them about any issues involving their daughter. District employees that Meade had trusted with sensitive information about GM's mental health deliberately changed GM's school records to conceal the fact that the district was treating their daughter as a boy without their knowledge, the lawsuit reads. The Meads only discovered it because one employee forgot to remove the masculine name and male pronouns from one section of GM's records after removing it from other sections of the same document. It inadvertently gave the Meads the document she had only partially authored. This is just straight bullshit that people are doing, that schools are doing this. The school allegedly continued to refer to the Meads' daughter as a male despite them communicating that they did not consent to it, according to the lawsuit. The Meads eventually decided to homeschool, and in late 2022, after their daughter came home with a book titled Heartstopper Volume 1, a graphic novel that depicts one teenage boy physically assaulting and later forcibly kissing another teenage boy without his consent, that was allegedly provided by the school counselor, Aaron Cole. School staff repeatedly cited that their behavior was in line with school policy. And when Mr. Meade asked Principal Adam Burkholder whether the school would promise to notify him about the issue in the future, Burkholder allegedly refused, according to the lawsuit. District employees didn't even notify Dan and Jennifer, let alone seek their consent before beginning to call the young daughter by a masculine name and male pronouns. Kate Anderson, senior counsel for the director of ADF's Center for Parental Rights, said in a press release, by intentionally concealing this information from the Meads, the school district violated their constitutionally protected right to make decisions regarding their daughter's education and well-being and destroyed the trust the Meade family had placed with the district. FTG to that school district and those schools and every school in America who's doing this bullshit. I'm sorry. They're not your kids. Kids are not autonomous. Minor children are the responsibility of their parents. They are, their parents have a right to say what and what not they will be, how they will be treated. Okay. As long as they're not mistreating their child. And this is straight up bullshit. So FTG to that school district, they can kiss my big black ass. And also, now this is, I don't know if you want to call this a win or not. We'll decide when we read it. By the way, let's go back. Oh, what are your feelings about the Pope decision? Let's do this. Let's do the answer on here first. Let's see here. What are your feelings about the Pope's decision? Oh, well, nobody did. I don't think. Oh, wait, I did the wrong thing. Here we go. All right, here's Gunfox. What the puppet in the robes, I wonder if we put Biden in robes, will they make him the next pope? Okay. Avocados Diabli. Priests can bless whomever they damn well want to. If you start withholding blessings from people because they are living in sin, then no one will be worthy of the blessing. And that's what I'm saying. This is not blessing the marriage, it's blessing the people. And I think I don't have a problem with that. If they start condoning that the church starts saying they're doing marriages, then I'm concerned. I don't know. It's not my church. Don't give a shit. Lord Sando, the pontifex is trying to do something. What it is and whether it's worthwhile, I don't know. So yeah, I mean, I got you there. But yeah, the Pope walked a very, very tight line and stopped very distinctly away from blessing the actual relationship or marriage. He just said that they can bless people. And maybe, you know what? Who knows if that's going to help people or hurt people? I don't know. It's gone crazy. Now here is in New Jersey. Apparently a school district has decided to scrap the transgender policies. The state's policy directed school staff to hide students' gender identities from parents. 2 New Jersey school districts voted to get rid of their state-recommended transgender school policies last week. The board for Franklin Lake School District, about 20 miles east of New York City, voted 5-4 on Thursday to scrap its adoption of a transgender school policy recommended by the state. Just a few miles away, on the same day, the Westwood Regional School Board voted 5-2 to toss the state's transgender guidance as well. The state's version of the transgender policy states that school staff should keep a student's new gender identity hidden from their parents unless the student gives permission or if there's a risk to the student's health and safety. The policy also says trans-identifying students must be allowed to use the bathrooms and play on the sports team that correspond with their gender identity. That's okay. And 2 schools scrapped them. Okay, that's a good thing. It also includes a page of definitions of terms like transgender, gender expression, assigned sex at birth, and sexual orientation. Franklin Lake School Board member Scott Loya, who brought the resolution to abolish the transgender policy, said he does not buy into this gender nonsense and said less is more when it comes to the policy. Woo! Loya argued that the school districts that have edited the state policy before adopting it have encountered more legal issues than those that just got rid of it. Okay, so this is a legal issue. What's important is leaving the window open where kids could be affected by this if a certain staff member does, for instance, withhold information from a parent. That's more important to me than anything. So they shouldn't be withholding information from parents about their kids. Even maybe in extreme cases. Anyway. All right, moving on to a different subject. Elected officials, a Democratic elected official was fined for voting twice in the 2020 election. I'm kind of in the who cares unless they find like 1,000 of them. Like in Georgia, did you know, by the way, did you know? So they've had these cases in Georgia. Rudy Giuliani got like a $150 million judgment against him for defaming 2 election workers, which is stupid. But suddenly in Georgia, there's a 17,000 ballots suddenly in dispute from the 2020 election that they're going back and looking at it and going, wait, what the fuck is this? How much did Trump lose Georgia by? 12,000? Interesting. But remember, Raffensperger said that their election was perfect. They had nothing wrong. And all of a sudden, it's interesting. I guess I'm not going to talk about it too much, but, that's wild. So Democratic official in Washington, D.C. has been fined by the District of Columbia Board of Elections for voting twice in 2020. Vanessa Rubio, an advisory neighborhood commissioner in D.C., voted in the District of Columbia and in Maryland during the 2020 presidential election. According to NBC4 Washington reporter Mark Seagraves, she reportedly told the Board of Elections that since D.C. is not a state, she believed voting twice would be acceptable. The Board of Elections found that an individual named Vanessa Rubio voted in person in Maryland on November 1st, 2020, and then in D.C. on November 3rd, according to a photograph of the memorandum opinion and order posted by Seagraves. So she got fined $500 for committing fraud. I don't know, but all the elections are perfect, right? Anyway, it's one person, but it's one person. Now, in polling news, new Monmouth poll, Joe Biden's approval rating falls to the lowest of his presidency. It just gets worse and worse, doesn't it? Joe Biden's approval rating has hit a new low during his presidency. A Monmouth University poll found Monday, highlighting fears among Democrats who are unhappy the president, 81, is the party's presumptive nominee. How soon will they get rid of him? How soon? The poll found just 34% approved of Biden. Now, the aggregate, I think, is at 39. If you use the Real Clear, or not aggregate, the average, the Real Clear Politics average is still 39, but that's lower than Trump ever was. So Biden's approval rating is trending downward, 44% in July, 38% in September, 34% in December. In other news, this is an American Thinker. What was this? Why do these keep doing this to me? I have to refresh it. Hang on. Oh, and this is a good point. Remember when, I don't know if I showed you the video in Chicago where some of the black folk were upset about the immigration thing, and they said, this is not going to be a peaceful Democratic convention in Chicago. And we said, oh, has some overtones in 1968. Well, here's a whole article, an editorial in the American Thinker saying it's beginning to look like 1968. According to a news report, President Biden is increasingly frustrated with dismal poll numbers. And they just, because he's losing to Trump. And we're saying, I feel your pain, Mr. President, but you have made some bad decisions. And the polls are just how the voters express their concerns. Is the president's team taking Robert F. Kennedy Jr. seriously? Maybe they should, because he could be just the biggest story of Election Day in 2024. Kennedy could be the Wallace of 2024, the candidate who elected Nixon in 1968. According to RCP average, this is what Election Day could look like. 40.6% for Trump, 35.4% for Biden, 13.2% for Kennedy. What does that mean in the Electoral College? It probably means that Trump wins over 300 electoral votes and competes in places like New York, Minnesota, and other blue states. I think he'll compete in Minnesota. Look, they're not predicting right now, among the black folk that are so crucial to the Biden presidential aspirations, continuing aspirations. The last poll I saw, even black people, about 19% would vote for Trump over Biden. That's not good for Biden. In Chicago, all the black folk are talking about this immigration shit is killing people. In New York, the immigration shit is killing people. In the Daily Caller, what's this one? Oh, but here's the other problem, though. Then this is a problem for the Republicans and non-Biden people. The Democratic donors in the richest zip codes in America are throwing their support behind Biden. President Joe Biden's primary fundraising arms have received an outsized amount of support from the most expensive zip codes in the country, according to the Daily Caller News Foundation. Analysis of Federal Election Commission records show the 10 most expensive home value, which accounted for just 0.02% of the population in 2020, were responsible for 7.6% of this year's donations to the Biden campaign and the Biden Victory Fund. So they tax the rich people? Well, those rich people are all giving money to Biden. Roughly 8,100 people living in those zip codes donated 311 times more to Biden than would be proportionate to their share of the population. The residents of America's 10 most expensive zip codes donated a total of $7,519,474 to the Biden campaign and the Biden Victory Fund this year, are roughly $930 per person, according to the FEC and Census Bureau records. Median home prices in these zip codes range from $4.25 million in Rancho Santa Fe, California on the low end to up to $7.95 million in Atherton, California on the high end. Aren't all these zip codes in California for the most part? Because the housing prices are so ridiculous out there. Maybe a county in Florida, maybe a county in DC. If you're going by the wealthiest people, not just the most expensive homes, most of the top, most wealthy zip codes, like almost all of them, are right around Washington, D.C. Gee, I wonder why that would be. Is that where all the lobbyists live and they get paid a pretty penny? Anyway, Joe Biden's is anyone surprised that Joe Biden is getting most of his donors' money from the wealthiest people in America? No one should be surprised. All right, moving on. Free Beacon. Joe Biden's brain isn't working when he uses this word. Oh, what is the word? Wait a minute, hang on.
Why is that not a requirement? All these mass murders, not this weekend, but have been because people have picked up kids and grabbed stuff off of counters, off of the, anyway. So the best way to get something done.
Anyway?
If it holds near and dear to you. That
Is it anyway? I don't want to play the music. President Joe Biden is an 81-year-old man who doesn't understand he's not a senator anymore. He's not running late to a committee hearing on the 73 trucker strike. Ted Kennedy isn't hiding under his bed and almost anything that is happening to him right now. Nevertheless, Democrats don't have anyone better to run for president, so Biden keeps humiliating himself in public because the future of our democracy, wait a minute, I got to say this properly. The future of our democracy is at stake. Sometimes when he veers off script and starts rambling incoherently, Biden will catch himself and reconnect to reality. Anyway, he says when this happens and changes the subject, it's his way of stopping himself from drifting even further back in time to the Suez Canal crisis of 1956, which almost ruins his 14th birthday. Okay, he drops that anyway quite a bit. Kennedy might be hiding under his bed. Has anyone checked his grave lately? That could be. Who knows? All right, I'm going to finish this out because I said I don't care if I'm late today. This is rich. This is rich. So, Governor Gavin Newsom has ordered a California spending freeze. Now, California is highly in debt, and the capital flight is real. There isn't enough wealth coming from the wealthy any longer. So, Legal Insurrection readers may recall that I reported on California's staggering $68 billion deficit caused by an unexpected economic downturn. What's truly unexpected is that Gavin Newsom administration has just ordered a state spending freeze. The memo sent across California agencies and departments this week, the director of the Department of Finance wrote, quote, "It is vitally important that state government is effective, efficient, and only expends funds that are necessary to the critical operation and security of the state. As such, all state entities must take immediate action to reduce expenditures and identify all operational savings achieved." The department urged state agencies to take several steps to save money, including avoiding any new contracts or agreements to lease or purchase equipment, and cancel all plans for non-essential travel to seminars, conferences, and training. It also urged departments to halt the purchase of new travel technology, non-essential state vehicle replacements, and to reevaluate expensive IT projects. H.D. Palmer, a spokesman for the Department of Finance, said the last time the administration made this kind of directive was at the beginning of the pandemic in the spring of 2020 when state revenues plunged. Palmer said the message to state agencies is simple. We know you have an authorized budget, but stop spending money, assholes! That's not exactly what he said, but it's close enough. And apparently the shortfall is likely to impact the 24-25 budget too. So Gavin Newsom, who has been on Twitter and everywhere on debates with DeSantis and MSNBC and Fox News, touting how amazing the California economy is, now has to do a state spending spree because they don't have enough revenue to cover that $68 billion deficit. So here's about the budget in 2024-25. The California, nation's most populous state and the fifth largest economy in the world, is now facing the biggest budget deficit in state history. Well done, Gavin. Starting next month, California will begin its budget process when Newsom releases his proposed 2024-25 budget following a revision in May. So here's something interesting. So I get it. California, they spend a lot of money and they tax people into shit and gas tax and they're the highest tax state, the highest tax people, the highest tax sales tax, the highest gas tax. They're tax hell, right? And they still have a $68 billion deficit. Now, I too live in a fairly high tax state, not like California, but Minnesota tries to be California light. However, our state had a huge budget deficit. I think it was like $18 billion budget, or not deficit, surplus. And our new fully Democratic state legislature, House and Senate, and our Democratic governor in this current next budget spent the entire, I say deficit, I meant surplus, spent the entire surplus and raised taxes. Unbelievable. Now, it was, and I thought, oh yeah, you know, this, some of the bullshit they pull here to be like California, you know, it's been bad, but at least we had a budget surplus. No, we're spending it all. In fact, one of the things that really just irks the entire backside of my human parts is they mandated that every school district in the state provide free breakfast and lunch to every student. Now, not every student will eat it, but just the idea that they thought that it's the state's job to feed everyone's children, even in all the wealthiest school districts in the state, that they need to make free breakfast and free lunch available to every student. And they say it's because, well, you know, we're fighting hunger. Well, you're not fighting hunger from the kids in Minnetonka and Lakeville and Wayzata and Edina, all these kids who in these super, you know, wealthy school districts that, you know, that build these Taj Mahal schools and have millions of dollars tax dollars, right? Or even in my suburb, there's not a whole lot of kids who were on free lunch. There was some. And the way they did it in our school district is they hide it when you have to buy lunch at school, because parents send their kids, you know, put money in their school lunch fund. In our school district, they had a card that you just filled, and nobody knows whether your parents filled it or whether the government filled it. So there was no stigma behind buying lunch with your lunch card. But now every student, free lunch, free breakfast in every school. That's the kind of thing they did to spend our surplus in Minnesota. Stupid fucking idea. I'm sorry. That was not something that parents were clamoring for kids to have free lunch, breakfast and lunch at school. Stupid. Let parents do that shit. Okay? That's the parents' responsibility. If there are kids who are needy, we accommodate for it. By, like I said, in our school district, they used a card, so nobody knew who was getting free lunch or free breakfast. They just, you know, as far as anyone knows, your parents were filling that card, so no one had any stigma. But they did it because, oh, they don't want to have the stigma of having free lunch kids versus non-free lunch kids. Nobody fucking knew in our district. So it's just crazy how stupid some of these liberal states, like my own, are. Dumbasses. Moving on. Let's see. What did I have next? Oh, by the way, speaking of California, not only do they have a $68 billion budget deficit, they also have their homeless population is up 26% in 2023. And, you know, it's funny. He's been out there pumping California, like it's comparing it to Florida. California's homeless population grew by 5.8% to 181,399 this year. This increase reported in the federal government's latest count comes as the state spends billions on the crisis, including more than $1 billion this year on housing and prevention programs. Wait a minute. Housing and prevention programs? I don't think that's how they meant to write this, because I don't want to prevent people from housing. Of their 181,399 homeless, nearly 70% sleep outside, marking the highest unsheltered rate of all states, including, and that's rate, not population. Obviously, it's the highest number, but it's also the highest rate of people living outside of shelters and homes, whatever, including those in mild climates such as Hawaii, Arizona, Nevada, California. More than 123,000 lack shelter on any given night, according to the Friday report from the Department of Housing and Urban Development. So, way to go, Gav. You're doing fucking great, Gavin. Way to go, buddy. Fucking dickhead. All right. I only got a few more left. We're almost there. Oh, now I'm not going to go through this article, but I need you to read this, and understand it. I might talk about it tomorrow. But Megan Fox has been following this court case where the Johns Hopkins Medical Center, some doctors there were kind of in a dispute with some parents over a child who was who had chronic pain or whatever, and their doctor had them on a regimen of ketamine. Okay, and ketamine is a drug it's a low level scheduled drug that's been used for this kind of thing, and it helps some people. But well, I'll read the beginning of this. So we've heard a lot about ketamine lately. If you were watching the Maya Kowalski trial, you learned that ketamine has many uses for people in pain. Still, despite promising outcomes for many patients using it for pain relief, depression, addiction, and more, Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital tried to demonize it during the 9-week civil trial to cover up their involvement in the medical kidnapping of a child and the suicide of her mother. It was Johns Hopkins' argument that they saved Maya from ketamine, and her mother surely would have killed her with the ketamine infusion she was receiving from doctors outside of Johns Hopkins. The jury disagreed and found Johns Hopkins liable for battery, false imprisonment, and driving Beata Kowalski to suicide. So they took this girl and they recommended, reported to the state that this was, she was being endangered by her mother, and they basically took this child away from the parents, and there's no trial for this. They just, the government agency takes the child and they put her in this, facility, and the girl's still in pain, and they refuse to use that regimen, right? Well, now they're refusing to pay the $261 million that the Kowalskis were awarded, and is instead tying up court with foot dragging and ridiculous motions for a new trial based on the way one juror writes his S's. Meanwhile, there's news all over the place that Matthew Perry died of the acute effects of ketamine. Now, isn't that, what a coincidence? What a coinky-dink. That suddenly, because ketamine has been used, right, for a long time. Party drug of the 90s. Yes. Ketamine treatments are probably, yes. And in rare cases, people are on ketamine regimens and regulated. Just like if you take too much of anything, you could die, right? If you take 500 aspirin, you could die, but because your blood would thin out too much. But anyway, so the news is all over the place that Matthew Perry died of acute effects of ketamine. Now that's convenient. I don't think I'd heard of a high-profile ketamine death until now. There haven't really been any. While every outlet is running with the approved narrative being pushed out by industrial media complex that ketamine is bad and scary and should be immediately regulated by the FDA, the facts of Perry's death to this curious journalist simply do not add up to the ketamine alone. So anyway, in this toxicology report, they're saying Matthew Perry died of a ketamine overdose, although he's drowned in a hot tub, right? And he had a whole bunch of other drugs in his system, but somehow they pinpointed it to ketamine, which is interesting because, I think these other hospitals, medical systems, whatever, hear that Johns Hopkins has to pay this huge settlement to somebody, and now they're all saying, "Oh yes, ketamine is the worst thing. It's just like heroin." When under the supervision of doctors, it's not. It's been used for a long time. Now, granted, there are some people who use it recreational. There are a lot of drugs that are like that. They're made for one thing, but they get used recreationally. You have to what is it? You have to sign, a book or something every time you buy NyQuil right now, or Sudafed. I mean, so anyway, so if you start hearing a bunch of news about the dangers of ketamine, just remember that case of the little girl who got taken away because her parents had a doctor that had her on ketamine. That was the only thing that was working for her, and then they took her away from her parents, basically kidnapped her through the state, and her mother ended up committing suicide. It was so traumatic for their family. So, moving on. Last couple things I got in the Daily Wire. Oh, did you see this? So this guy, this Super Bowl champion guy, what's his name? Rashard Mendenhall, former Super Bowl champion. Apparently he went viral proposing a all black versus all white Super Bowl or bowl, saying he was sick of white guys commenting on football. Now this is kind of wild. And he got into a little spat with Jason Whitlock about this. Former Super Bowl champion Rashard Mendenhall went viral after he proposed a all-black versus all-white bowl instead of the annual Pro Bowl and said he's sick of white guys commenting on football. In a post on Monday on X, the former Pittsburgh Steelers running back blasted white NFL analysts.
You're fucking a white male!
Without describing further exactly who the ire was directed at. The post has since been viewed over 15 million times. Quote, "I'm sick of average white guys commenting on football," Mendenhall wrote to his thousands of followers. Y'all ain't even good at football. Now, look, there's a lot of good white guys in football. Some of the best. Travis Kelce's the #1 tight end in the league right now. What's the dude from San Francisco? One of the running backs, who's probably the best running back in the league too, is a white guy. I'm sick of average white guys commenting on football. Y'all getting good at football. Can we please replace the Pro Bowl with an all black versus all white bowl so these cats can stop trying to teach me who's good at football? I'm better than your GOAT. It's the greatest of all time. Whatever. It followed an earlier post slamming criticism of Steelers and coach Mike Tomlin after the team's lost Sunday to the Indianapolis Colts 30-13. The former Steeler wrote that he didn't understand how a person could talk about Tomlin's playoff record without acknowledging that Steelers quarterback Kenny Pickett has only played 1 year. So then he took a swipe at Roethlisberger. Anyway, the back and forth between him and Jason Whitlock is precious. I should have probably done. Yeah, McCaffrey. McCaffrey's the best running back in the league right now. There's a bunch of, and look, if you're offensive lineman, there's plenty of great. Look, there'd be a battle. The only probably place that I don't see a lot of white guys are in defensive secondary. But as far as linebackers, linemen on both sides of the line, there's skills players. You certainly could put up a pretty damn good team of white guys if you wanted to. Not that I care. I would never. This is a stupid idea anyway. But you could put up a pretty damn good team of white guys. And someone said, I was watching this video, this guy said, well, and also if they had to draft all the mixed players, you might be in trouble, black guys. I'm saying there's a lot of good mixed players out there too. So anyway, that's stupid. This is not good for the holidays. The majority of small businesses are not seeing a holiday bump as consumers are running out of cash and probably and credit too. In a poll of small business owners, 76% said they had not seen an increase in sales during the holiday season as inflation and other economic conditions constrict consumers' cash, according to Goldman Sachs. Now, I'm not going to read the rest of this article. That's important. I noticed this just in my job at the Brown box van company. We're not seeing nearly the volume coming through during this Christmas peak season that we see normally. It's down quite a bit. Now, granted, at our particular hub, they've moved some of our outgoing package cars to two other hubs and kind of split it up because we're one of the busiest hubs in the country. But I'm not seeing the volume, and part of it may have to do with the fact that we had a strike not too long ago and people were like, we need to make sure shit's going to happen and we don't know how long the strike's going to go. But also just we're not seeing the volume, and I'm hearing it from a friend I know who works for FedEx too. So it's very interesting. Very interesting. Now, let's see. I got a couple more left. There's a couple more editorials. Here's a good one. Elon Musk has moved on to Joe Biden's #1 enemy. Moves to #1 on Joe Biden's enemies list. Donald Trump holds the uncontested top spot on Joe Biden's enemies list. But now that Biden and his Democratic Lilliputians have tied down Trump Gulliver-like in courts across the land, Joe's now casting his watery, opaque eyes on another man who won't be owned and run the street like a street-level bagman, Elon Musk. Musk is temporarily moved to the number one spot. On December 12th, the Federal Communications Commission Commissioner Brendan Carr issued an extraordinary and very public missive on Twitter X announcing why he believed Joe Biden's government is harassing Musk. In a series of tweets, Carr did some dot connecting for anyone still blind to what their government is doing to Musk. Carr accused Biden of giving the green light to go after Elon with regulatory harassment. He wrote, President Biden stood at a White House podium and stated that Elon Musk is worth being looked at. Remember that? Remember when he sent the dogs after Elon Musk? Elon Musk, well, he's worth being looked at. When asked how, the president responded, there are lots of ways. There certainly are. There's DOJ, FAA, FTC. Oh, that's not. Was that a quote? Yeah, he tweeted. There certainly are. The DOJ, the FAA, FTC, NLRB, SDNY, the FW, all these letter agencies have all taken action, and now the FCC has joined them. Last week, the FCC rescinded nearly $900 million contract from Musk's SpaceX Starlink program, claiming that it wasn't providing broadband internet service to rural communities today, even though it wasn't under contract to do so until 2025. Carr said the Biden administration's FCC move was the latest in a growing list of administrative agencies that are taking action against Elon Musk's businesses and certainly fits the Biden administration's pattern of regulatory harassment. So there you go. Way to go. And if you want to see that, the tweet thread is in the article. So you can look that one up. Three to go. Meet the mainstream media. This is the Free Beacon. Mainstream media go-to human rights expert. Spoiler alert, they hate Israel. The Washington Post recently tapped two human rights experts, Omar Shakir and Raji Sourani, to lambast Israel over viral photographs of Palestinian prisoners clad in their underwear. In that story, headline, Hungry, Thirsty, and Humiliated, Israel's mass arrest campaign sows fear in northern Gaza. Shakir called for an international investigation of the Jewish state. Sourani condemned Israel for littering Gaza with corpses all over the place. Both men are also routinely cited in the New York Times, where Shakir is particular a mainstay. The Times quoted Shakir in a December 13 story headline, quote, under rules of war, proportionality in Gaza is not about evening the score. That's a weird way. Okay. In which the activists raised serious questions about whether Israel has committed war crimes. Okay, so both of these guys are anti-Israel activists, but they're using them as experts. I wonder if there's an agenda there. There's a whole lot more here, but I'm not going to read the whole thing. In the National Pulse, a New York Times. Wait, what the hell's this? When did this start? Oh my gosh, the National Pulse is now on a. Is it on a? Oh, I'm not. Okay, there we go. Let me center that so you can see it. A New York Times columnist says Trump support less excusable than slavery. If you support Trump, that is less excusable than slavery. I'm just going to let that sink in when I bring up a comparable comparison. January 6th was the worst attack on American democracy since the Civil War. New York Times so-called conservative David French. Oh my God, I never even read it. I just saw the headline. I think I got to do this one. It's David fucking French. He's supposed to be the conservative at the New York Times. New York Times so-called conservative columnist David French has claimed in a new opinion editorial that supporting Donald Trump is worse than supporting slavery. What a fucking hack. French's bizarre op-ed essentially argues that slavers did not know any better, while MAGA supporters should, oddly comparing the forced ownership of human beings to supporting America First policies. The article entitled Behold MAGA Man, was published on Sunday in the paper still owned by the descendants of slave owners. In addition to its murky moral history in America, the New York Times previously hyped Hitler's Mein Kampf. So at least they're consistent. French himself is a neoconservative who still defends the Iraq War, supports gay marriage, and is regularly vaccinated and boosted. He wrote on Sunday, quote, "One of the persistent debates in American life centers on how strictly we should judge the sins of our national past. Were those people who owned slaves or broke faith with Native Americans or passed the Chinese Exclusion Act merely products of their time? MAGA men and MAGA women will not have that excuse. They know there is a different way." Yes, because most MAGA people are proposing things worse than slavery and killing off the native population. That's exactly what they're doing. Characterizing former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani as a MAGA man, French accused the post-9/11 American hero of devolving into a cipher for Trump. He also strongly implied he supports the $148 million judgment against Giuliani in the case of 2 election workers accused of ballot fiddling. Yeah, as if either of them would have made anywhere near that in 10 lifetimes. Here's a quote. "A MAGA man such as Giuliani supplements his lies with rage." Wow. Pot kettle, David, French claimed. To watch him pushing Trump's election lies was to watch a man become unglued with anger. Yeah, like, oh, you dickhead who wrote this article. Okay, enough of that shit. God dang. All right, let's finish up with, let's see, I got one left. What's this one? This is just a primer on the Palestinian history of rejectionism. This is the Begin Sadat Center, Begin Sadat Center for Strategic Studies at Bar Ilan University. So the Begin Sadat, remember Menachem Begin and Anwar Sadat had the peace talks back in the 70s, and so there's a Begin Sadat Center at this particular university. And the summary basically, the consistent and enduring Palestinian rejection of any and all peace initiatives with Israel, most recently the deal of the century, calls into question the commitment of the Palestinian leadership not only to peace, but to the very welfare and safety of the Palestinian people. And it goes through a series of all the times when the so-called Palestinians have rejected the offer to have a 2-state solution in that region, starting in the 1920s, not in 1948, which also happened, or 47, when they were, trying to make this, Jewish state in Israel, which is where the kingdom of Israel was in during the time of King David and also the time of Judea. And they over and over again, they've offered this 2-state solution that they keep talking about. And the Palestinians have, the so-called Palestinians, the Arab Palestinians, because remember, there's Arabs in Israel. There are all sorts of ethnicities and religions, whatever, in Israel. Multi-religious, multi-ethnic state, even though it's a Jewish state. The Arab Palestinians have rejected every single one of these plans. And so, the idea, this is apartheid, this is that. Well, that's not because of the Israelis. The Israelis have over and over and over offered this 2-state solution. And so they go back to the 20s, to the 40s, to 1947, during Yasser Arafat, during the Oslo peace process, during when Ariel Sharon carried out the unilateral evacuation of Israeli villages from the Gaza Strip. When they left Gaza in 2005, they even took Israeli graves out of Gaza. There were no Jews in Gaza. Gaza was a self-governed place, and Hamas took over and just fucked it up. So I'm not going to read it, but it'll be in the links today, and that's how I'm finishing the show. So this is it, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, I got to go. I'm so late. It's scary. No, fortunately, I don't have to be at my other gig today, so that's one of the reasons I could go late. Thanks for joining me today. The Morning Night Live. I'm here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. As you know, share the stream on your way out the door before you go. Hit the like button before you go. Do all that stuff. And even on Rumble, where there's still only nobody watching. Is anyone watching at Rumble? It looks like it says one. Okay. Do the thing, and I'll see you tomorrow. My name's P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Have a great day. I'll put the links in the chat during the outro. Bye-bye. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.